Okay, so let's start with Will Levis and listen to what he has to say. Well, first, we're going to start with his coach. That was the first question we asked Brian Callahan when he came out today to the podium. We said, what do you think so far? You've had Will Levis out here doing some stuff there. They're not in shoulder pads, they're in shorts and t-shirts, but you've seen him throw for the first time. He's throwing with Calvin Ridley, throwing with DeAndre Hopkins, soon to be throwing with Tyler Boyd. What is your assessment of your second year now quarterback and what his spring has looked like? And here is what Brian Callahan had to say.
He's been great. Really, really happy with the work that he's put in, what he's learned. There's a lot of information coming at him, a lot of technical things, a lot of mental things, a lot of physical things as far as fundamentals, techniques, how we teach, what we teach. He's attacked it with really awesome enthusiasm. Every day he comes in, he learns it, and always the mark to me of guys that take coaching well, they can take it from the meeting room to the grass. And so he's been able to translate those things as we've come out here. So really happy with the work he's done so far. I think he's really gotten better in a short amount of time because of the way he approaches his job, and that's all you can ask for at this point in the year.
And that's that last part that stuck with me. He's gotten a lot better in a hurry, in a short amount of time. That's kind of what we heard from Sean McAvoy, who is the private quarterback coach of Malik Willis. We had on the show just before the draft a couple of weeks ago. He has been with both Malik and Will a lot this offseason, and we talked to him about, hey, your first offseason where you're not having to do the whole draft circus, having to be paraded around as a potential first-round pick like Will Levis was, doing the combine and athletic testing and underwear Olympics and all these things that aren't actually football, not learning a playbook and getting to know your teammates and getting to know your coaches and preparing your body for football. The first time you can do all of that in a spring, you get to the end of the season in January, like the Titans were, because they didn't get to the playoffs. And I'm sure Will Levis looks around on January, whatever it was, 17th, and is like, I have months of time to really structure how I see fit. And so we asked him at the podium, which is this next clip, about what that spring has been like for him and how he is feeling in terms of mental and physical preparation.
Yeah, no, I feel great. Having these last 5-6 weeks to be with the guys and learn the offense. Obviously having that jump start is huge. But physically, I feel like I'm in a better spot than I've been in a really, really long time. That was one of the things I was looking on improving the most this offseason, just getting healthy, getting my stuff back, and being able to play the game like I know I can. So it's been cool to feel my body, get to that point, and I'm going to keep working to even get past there.
Not shocking to hear that he finished last season not 100%. That's just the nature of the NFL. And for him in particular, we know the offensive line situation left him a little bit battered and bruised. So he is healthy, and I'd imagine he's in the best shape he's been in a while because, like we talked about with Sean McAvoy, these guys coming out of their senior or last year of college through the draft process to the NFL, Sean said it's like 19 months of their lives where they are going football, combine draft circus nonsense, all paraded around, interviews left and right, and then football, trying to learn the NFL, which is a whole new gear. Mentally, that's exhausting. That is a serious grind. And to be able to focus on yourself in the way that you see fit for the first time in a long time, I'd imagine is very refreshing. This final clip on the topic of Will Levis is from Will, and he was asked by our friend of the show here, Paul Kaharski, hey, how would you describe the Brian Callahan offense? What does this new offense mean to you? How would you sum it up? And I have to warn you, if you have kids around, if there are sensitive ears in the vicinity, this is a little bit Titans fan porn, what he's about to say. It is going to be something you're not used to hearing from anybody in the Titans organization, and it might leave you a little bit excited. You may, if you're sitting down and you're a gentleman, you may not be able to stand up for a little bit. Here's what Will Levis had to say on that front.
I'd say balanced. I mean, it's pretty vague, but it was cool the first kind of time sitting down and being able to talk to Coach Callahan and watch some stuff, showing a lot of drop back game in situations where we might not have seen that last year, so that was cool. So being able to throw the ball a little bit more, obviously that comes with the trust in the quarterback, and I got to earn that. But him making a point to me like, hey, we're gonna throw the ball. We're gonna throw the ball on first down. We're gonna throw the ball in all types of situations, and it's going to be on you, and we're going to trust you to do it. So that was cool to hear that, and it makes me want to go out there and be the guy to do that.
So that is something that you're not used to hearing if you're a Titans fan. Hey, we're going to throw the ball on first down. Hey, we're going to throw the ball more often. Hey, we're going to have a balanced offense. We're going to pass and we're going to throw, and it's not going to be predictable. It's not going to be. He by the way, he followed up. I wish I'd kept recording. He went on to elaborate here in the press conference and said, I also would sum it up as confusing. And he clarifies, not for us, but for defenses. Hopefully, it's not as predictable as it once was. Hopefully, it keeps the defense on their toes and we dictate the flow, dictate the pace, as opposed to them forcing us into a corner. That's really exciting, man. That is something that, again, it's all talk, it's all on paper. We need to see it. But assuming they've done enough this offseason to have the pieces necessary to facilitate that kind of really revolutionary offense, that's something revolutionary in terms of Tennessee Titans offenses, at least a modern style offense, a strength of their team being the offense, which we've not seen since the heyday of Arthur Smith and Ryan Tannehill and AJ Brown and Derrick Henry, which feels like a long time ago, even though it wasn't that long ago. That's going to be really refreshing. And that's something that I think, yeah, it's May. Yeah, we're just starting the offseason process, but fans are going to be able to hang their hats on that because, dude, that is really exciting. A couple of you guys here in the comments, Alex Titan saying, is it homerism that our expectations for Levis are much higher than what the masses think? What do we see in him that the others who believe will have a top 5 pick do not see? A very good question, Alex. And if you listen to our previous episode here on the feed, in the middle of the show, kind of switched the topic and answered a question akin to this, asking, why are the Titans being disrespected like this? And there's actually going to be a clip of that discussion on YouTube, probably within the next 2 days. So you can go and listen to that already pulled for you on the Broadway Sports Media YouTube page. Shameless plug there. Here's the deal. As long as the Titans, and I won't do the whole spiel again, but as long as the Titans have this quarterback and this coach, and it's going to be a situation where the general media, fans of other teams, see your team as what it is, which is unproven. Yeah, it's a team sport, and there are 53 players on the roster. There's a lot of different coaches. There's a lot of moving parts. It's more than just your quarterback and your coach. Ultimately, we know this. That's the sport of football. But when it comes to media understanding of a team, especially a team in a small market like this, where it's easy for national media folks and for fans of other teams to be lazy in their understanding of you, it boils down to, what do I think about your quarterback and what do I think about your coach? And with these two guys, do they have a lot of potential? Yes, they do. But are they unproven right now, no matter what you think of them? Yeah, they are. They're unproven. And until we start playing games, until we get to at least Halloween or Thanksgiving, that's going to remain the case. And so you ask what, fans of Will Levis, fans of the Tennessee Titans see in Will Levis that others don't see. You think back to last year, he played, I think, 9 games, a 9-game sample, less than 10 games. I think it was 9. I keep saying this. I really should look it up. Help me out in the comments. Was it 9? I think it was 9. He plays 9 games last year. There's a lot of ups. There's a lot of downs. And if you try to be objective about it, it's the kind of thing where maybe people that very tangentially watch the Tennessee Titans caught in a similar vein to Sam Howell last year. I'm not comparing the two, because if you really watched both, there's a big difference there. But or like a Drew Lock, where there were some moments, memorable times. Hey, that Atlanta Falcons game, throwing 4 touchdowns in his debut. Hey, I remember that. Hey, do you remember that primetime game against the Dolphins? I remember that too. But I also remember watching that Steelers game in primetime up in Pittsburgh. There's some ugly moments in that one. And a handful of their games were either boring or unwatchable because the offense just was not humming. And a lot of people see that and they think, well, a quarterback has a lot to do with that, whether that's fair or foul. The bottom line here is that there's just not enough on tape from him. And the fact that he was not a top 10 pick, again, it's expectations versus reality. People's opinion of him, their expectations of him diminished the moment he fell to 33rd overall in the draft. The fact that he was supposed to be a potential top 10 pick and he fell to where he did, people just don't have faith in him yet. And so I'm not saying Titans fans that are paying attention should not be, or don't have a reason to think, as Derek does, Levis is him. As Alex goes on to say here, the guy just exudes confidence. He looks the part. All of the intangibles are there. But the same things that made him fall to 33 and made the pre-draft evaluation of him be, it's inconsistency. The traits are there, but I'm not sure he'll ever put it together. Those things still exist. And until he has a full season where he demonstrates, hey, we're on a good offense, and I'm a big part of the reason why this offense is good, and you have to respect me. He does things that demand respect from folks. He's not going to just magically have it. That's just the nature of things. The same reason that everybody's opinion of Bryce Young could be dramatically different in 9 months from now, right? Because he, let me remind you, was still the number 1 overall pick, is still a very talented player. Are there shortcomings and things in hindsight where you're like, well, of course he had a bad first year? Yeah, totally. There are. And he's short and he's a limited athlete. And there are things there in his profile. But was he on a terrible team? Yes. And are the Panthers going to be a lot better this year? I don't know. But if they were to be, I'd imagine we'd be saying, okay, there it is. There's that first round pick. Okay, there, I get it. And so that's where you have to put yourself in those shoes and say, okay, the same way I feel about Bryce Young right now, others may feel about Will Levis right now. There's some ignorance baked in there, but that's the reality.